Hi, hello and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto and our epic journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the 4th round of the 1965 season, the French Grand Prix. It was held on the 27th of June. It had 17 entries, all of them took part in the race with 8 ending up retiring. The race consisted of 40 laps completed in 2 hours, 14 minutes and 38 seconds. Jim Clark started the race from pole with Stewart in second, Bandini third who had an accident on lap 36. Surtees was 4th on the grid, Gurney 5th, he retired on lap 16 due to an engine blowout, and Denny Hulme started the race from 6th. Clark drove superbly to win the French Grand Prix from Stewart, who crossed the line 26.3 seconds after Clark. Surtees, who started from 4th, moved up into 3rd. He was 2 minutes 33.5 seconds behind. Denny Hulme moved up from 6th to 4th and was 2 minutes 53.1 seconds behind. Graham Hill, who started in 13th, had a fantastic race and ended up in 5th. He was 1 lap down. And rounding off the top 6 was Joe Siffert, who also had a fantastic race. He started the race in 14th and was 1 lap down as well. Jim Clark was the fastest man of the race, posting a lap time of 3 minutes 18.9 seconds on lap 34. Greetings from the magnificent Clermont Ferrand circuit, where a lap starts off with a short sprint down into turn 1, a medium speed left-hander that takes us onto the longest straight on the track, ending in turn 2, a medium speed right-hander. Next is turn 4, a flat-out left-hand sweeper, careful not to crash into the wall on the exit. Later we come into a banked right-hand hairpin, take it nice and easy and you should be fine. After a series of varying speed corners we come into a blind right-hander. Be extremely careful as the slightest mistake could end in tears. From here the track opens up significantly. A bit later on we come into another left hand hairpin. Once again take it easy and you should be fine. This is followed up by a right hand hairpin and the strategy is the same as before. Nice and slow. Next is yet another hairpin, this one turning left, followed almost immediately by a slow right hander. But eventually we make our way into the final corner of the track, a double apex right hander that brings us around onto the main straight, and that is a lap around the Clermont Ferrand circuit. And here we are in qualifying, coming around to set our first and only qualifying lap, a 3:32.028, which places us in pole if things stay the same, so hopefully they will, I don't know, but that is a very good qualifying time, so things are looking up. And here are the previous French Grand Prix winners. Andy hasn't won here in a very long time, more than 10 seasons ago, so it's about time we did something about it, I guess. And we have Andy Hicks starting on pole with Dan Gurney in second, Pedro Rodriguez third, Bruce McLaren 4th, Jackie Stewart 5th, and rounding off the top 6 is Denny Hulme. Jack Brabham starting from 7th, followed by Ian Raby in 8th. 9th is Jochen Rindt, followed by Ines Ireland in 10th. In 11th we have Richard Atwood, in 12th Bob Bondurant, John Love is 13th, 14th is Chris Amon, 15th Paul Hawkins, 16th David Prophet, and at bringing up the rear of the grid we have Sam Tingle in the LDS. So that is the grid lineup for the French Grand Prix. Hopefully we'll do very decently here at this new circuit, the Clermont Ferrand circuit. An absolutely fantastic circuit, by the way. It's kind of long, difficult and fun, and we start off quite well in the lead there, although I was a little bit slow off the start. We managed to keep the lead, and as we come through turn 2 here, we already built a gap of 2.5 seconds to Dan Gurney, so we're pulling away very quickly. And I should note that the AI for some reason is extremely slow on this circuit. I don't really know why, but it is very slow. And we have a replay of the start, and I'm sorry about the camera angle. Not much I can do about that. But there we have it, coming through turn 1 here, and you can already see the gap between Andy and second place Dan Gurney there. It's absolutely huge, so the AI is indeed very low on this circuit. I have no idea why, because in qualifying they showed decent pace around here, but that didn't really hold up in the race as we now come towards the end of lap 1, and Bruce McLaren has retired from the race, and I think someone else as well. We will get replays. Yes, indeed, we have a few replays, and we see John Love, and we actually see how slow the AI is moving through that corner. That corner is much faster than that, and we see John Love there having smoke coming out of his engine. He pulls to the side and is out of the race, as we now take a look at a replay of Bruce McLaren, who goes wide, hits the earth embankment on the right there, and then loses complete control, goes off road and loses control completely of his car, tries to turn back onto the track, gets stuck, and that is the end of his race as well. So those are the first couple of retirements, as we now move on to lap 13, and the gap to Denny Holm is now 1 minute, over 1 minute, so that's quite a gap already, as I go quite wide through this left-hander, touch the dirt on the exit there, but we are fine, as we take a look at a replay of Sam Tingle coming through these twisty corners, and we see fire coming out of the rear of his car. So that's not very good. That doesn't look like a healthy engine. And there we have some smoke. He pulls to the side and is out of the French Grand Prix as well. So not a very happy day for him. As we now move on towards the end of lap 7, coming around to set the fastest lap of the race, 3:29.8. That's absolutely fantastic for Andy. And we've already lapped everyone at this point. And here is a replay of Andy setting the fastest lap. And again, I apologize for the weird camera angle, but I have nothing. There's nothing I can do about that. So we have to work with it, unfortunately. Anyway, we now move on to lap 8, and this is where I make a big mistake coming through this right-hander. I go a little bit too fast, go wide, touch the earth embankment there a bit, swings me around, and then I try to turn the car back around. Doesn't really work well. I try to put the car into reverse, and that is when the engine cuts off, and that is the end of our race, unfortunately, which is quite a shame because we were doing quite a good job of that. And here is a replay of Hicks coming around, hits the embankment there, spins around, there it is, spins around, and he tried to recover it, unfortunately didn't go well, and as he goes into reverse, the engine cuts off, and that is the end of the French Grand Prix for Andy Hicks. Unfortunately, not a very satisfying result, but that is that. Not much more to say about that, really. Quite unfortunate, but let's move on now. And we have a replay of Pedro Rodriguez coming through this left-hander and right-hander even. And he pulls to the side there, not sure why. Hits those hay bales and gets stuck, and that is the end of his race as well. This was on lap 10 or so, and we now skip to the end of the race. We see Jackie Stewart there coming around to win the French Grand Prix, and again I apologize for that camera angle. I know it's not good, but there's not much I can do. And here are the race results. Stewart wins with Dan Gurney in second, Brabham third, fourth, Denny Holm fifth, Jock Conrint and Bob Bondurant in sixth. Andy Hicks managed to post the fastest lap of the race, so that's quite nice for him. And here are a few more people who managed to finish the race. And here are the retirements. Unfortunately, we number ourselves among them, which isn't the best, but hey, what can you do, right? Anyway, here are the career statistics, and this was Andy's 135th Grand Prix. His best start is from first, has 13 pole positions, has set 24 fastest laps. His best finishes in first, has completed 88 races, 70 of them in the points, has won 40 Grand Prix, 4 at Indianapolis 500, 6 in Monaco, has 8 championships under his belt, has scored a total of 476 points, has retired 47 times, has experienced 2,908 out of 3,584 laps, has 6 bronze trophies, 16 silver trophies, 40 gold trophies, and as an extension 40 podiums. And before we move on, I just wanted to show you guys the difference in speed between Andy and everyone else, or rather Jackie Stewart, who finished second. Andy Higgs's fastest lap was a 3:29.879, whilst Jackie Stewart's fastest time was 4 minutes 4.640 seconds. So that's more than half a minute difference per lap. That's an absolutely insane gap. So the AA was really slow. I'm not sure why, but that is that. Anyway, let's move on to the driver's standings, where Richie Ginster takes the lead once again of the driver standings. Stewart is second, Graham Hill third. Fourth is Jack Brabham, Ronnie Bucknam fifth, and fighting for sixth are Andy Higgs and Dan Gurney. The last person to score points is Frank Gardner in 14th, and bringing up the bottom of the standings is Pedro Rodriguez in 29th. So those are the driver standings. Let's move on now to the constructors. And here we have Owen Racing Organization regaining the lead of the championship. Honda drop into second, Brabham are third, Otello Nucci fourth, fifth are North American Racing Team, David Profit in sixth. The last team to score points are John Wilmot Automobiles in 10th, and bringing up the bottom of the standings we have DW Racing Enterprises. So that is it for the French Grand Prix. Quite a disappointing result for Andy. That retirement was unnecessary, but that just goes to show how a bit of lapse of concentration could end up in. So that wasn't really good. I should have paid a little bit more attention, but that's that. And again, it's quite a shame that the AI was so slow, because this circuit is so much fun to drive, and it would have been so much better if, well, there would have been a little bit of competition for Andy there, but there wasn't, so unfortunately. And it's quite weird, because in qualifying the AA showed quite a bit of pace, so I'm not quite sure what happened there in the race. But anyways, our next race is the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, so looking forward to that. Always a big race, an important race, especially since there are quite a few British drivers, including Andy, and quite a few British teams, so a lot of people will want to win that. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Don't forget to vote for next season's team. Link is in the description. I also have a second channel where I will be playing all sorts of different games. At the moment, I'm doing a playthrough of The Darkness 2 and the movies, so if you're interested in any of those games and more, there will be a link in the description to my second channel as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.